Hello, Kirk Noggle, Direct Response Associates in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Allentown is headquarters to Dun & Bradstreet's data gathering operations, now for almost 40 years. We have well over 100 years of experience in this office, and we think we know more about mailing lists than any other company in the world. This is a short video on how to buy a mailing list. Number one, we see claims every single day, 90% accurate, 95% accurate, triple verified, 20 million phone calls, you name it. We say baloney, baloney, baloney. We don't trust 99 out of 100 mailing lists. It's simply too difficult to gather this data, and we've got a video on why most mailing lists are so inaccurate. Therefore, in most cases, we end up with Dun & Bradstreet for our business lists and Epsilon for our consumer lists. We sell to 1 in 3 of the nation's largest 100 banks, and there are over 7,000 banks. 100,000 locations, 7,000 banks. We sell to 1 in 3 of the top 100, and they, with all their testing and back-end analysis, they come back for Epsilon, they come back for Dun & Bradstreet. So those are our two favorite compilers overall. Occasionally we have to move to other compilers, and there's a handful of specialty lists we use to serve those customers. Number two is that you need to buy current month data. A lot of places sell Dun & Bradstreet and Epsilon data. The catch is that if you buy it from a website or a reseller, very often it's updated it's updated monthly using postal processes. It's refreshed by the compiler only once every 6 months. That's a huge difference. They only get fresh data in, and mailing lists change 15 to 20% per month, not because 15% new businesses, 15% out of businesses, 15% of the public turns 18, 15% of the public dies. It's because the sources feeding the files change. You need to get current month data. There's already data in these databases that's 5 and 10 years old. So as this data catches up, the compilers catch up on this data, you need to buy current month data. While you're at it, why not find out what the update date is? And the day after that update date, run your counts again, make sure your counts changed so you know the update took place, and place your order. Why not also try to be in the mail as quickly as possible after that? Every little advantage helps in this industry. You know, we work on tenths and hundreds of a percent of responses here. Beyond that, when you buy your list, make sure you're familiar with your selects. 4 ways to pick income, 4 ways to pick net worth, multiple ways to pick a number of employees. There's all sorts of details out there. The most important select is DPV, delivery point validation. Does the post office recognize the address? If you buy a consumer list from almost any of the big sources, Epsilon, Experian, Consumer Base, Exact Data, Knowledge Base, and so on, they're going to use that select. However, when it comes to a business file, you buy from Dun & Bradstreet or a Dun & Bradstreet website, or you buy InfoUSA or Experian, you don't get DPV, the highest level of DPV. You have to request it or select it. If you don't use that select properly, you can end up with 4 out of 10 mail pieces. The address is not recognized by the post office. That's a huge deal. Next, no matter what list you buy, consumer, business, specialty list, subscription list, whatever it is, pay the extra money to have all of your selects output. Every data element that you're looking at, make sure you pay to have it output. So when you get the data, you can look it up down that column to make sure all of those values are within the ranges you selected. Number one. Number two, while you're at it, look for anomalies in every column, not just the data elements that you purchased. Look at every column. Look at the top, look at the bottom, scroll up and down, look for anomalies, long fields, short fields, those usually represent anomalies, things like that. Why not give yourself the best chance possible? Beyond that, there are just so many inaccuracies in this industry that the count systems themselves actually generate erroneous data. So everything you can do to check your data when you're picking high incomes, look at age ranges. So you've got very, very high income, and you've got people that are 18 years old, an anomaly. Similarly, you've got all sorts of businesses with a high sales volume. Before you buy the data, ask for another count by number of employees. You'll find, billions of billion-dollar companies with a handful of employees. It doesn't make sense. We've seen it. It exists everywhere. You can cut those anomalies out for a couple of cents, or if you point them out to your rep and complain, perhaps they'll give you that extra select for free to get rid of some of the erroneous data. Again, DPV, also ask for ZIP +4 on business records. It's a standard on consumer records. It's not on business records. That helps you get the data delivered. Pick those with contact names, things like that. Whatever you can do, the more selects you put in there, and you still have the quantities you need, you're going to be improving the quality of that list. From year started to whatever it might be. There's also all kinds of ways to save money when you're buying lists, simply by understanding how these selects work. Some are expensive, some are inexpensive, and yet there's only a limited amount of data out there, so it's combinations of data elements that make up these selects. So knowing how to select them or packaging things like that can save you a lot of money. As an example, if you want to avoid branches and divisions on businesses, select by sales volume or select by employees total rather than employees at site. That doesn't exist at Experian. It doesn't exist at Info USA. It does exist at Dun & Bradstreet. Again, ways to save money. If you rely on data or you're responsible for buying mailing lists, please get a hold of us. No obligation whatsoever. We'll take a look at what you're doing. Perhaps we can make some suggestions. Perhaps we could save you some money on your data acquisition, but very often we don't because we go for more expensive lists. Again, we dismiss 99% of this business. I've been in this business 33 years, and it is a disaster. And most important, perhaps we could save you from wasting a huge amount of money. Again, Kirk Noggle, Direct Response Associates, beautiful downtown Allentown, Pennsylvania. Thank you very much.